Today's program is brought to you by Vagabond Creative Studio and Grow with KLO. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. As you can see today, I am here alone. Kristin is off this week, but not to fear, I do have a guest and I'll introduce him. But I want to preface it by saying, one of the philosophies that I really, adhere to, believe and try to adhere to is the concept that, happiness is great, but happiness is even greater through the happiness that you can help others have. And I guess I'm not saying that very eloquently, but there are, three people whom I admire that really sort of live that mantra or demonstrate that mantra. For example, here's one example. This is the Pope Francis. And if you look at the bottom of his quote, he says, "Life is good when you are happy, but it's much better when others are happy because of you." I think that that's beautiful. And I think that's a really important for me, an important concept for me to embrace and to try to live as my truth. And also the Dalai Lama has said something so similar. The more we care for the happiness of others, the greater is our own sense of well-being. And then the third person that I admire in his own right has said something similar. Always find time for the things that make you feel happy to be alive. And by extrapolation, that includes taking care of others and doing good things for others. And therefore, this morning, it is my great pleasure to welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina, Jason Prigge.
Hi, good morning.
How's it going?
We are actually in different places. Yes, this is my wife, and yes, we are still married. I'm not living in my own apartment. I am at the office, and she is at home. So during COVID, that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. I enjoy being at the office because it's a distinct thing. I like going to work. And she enjoys her home office, and it's quite cozy over there, right?
Yes, and it's a great command central for making sure that online schooling is getting accomplished.
Yes, our 15-year-old son is all online. So,
speaking of 15-year-old son, he collected this cool coffee mug and he brought it home in third grade. They had different awards and he would always choose the coffee mug. So he's got a collection of 4 of these. And I don't know if you can see it, but across the bottom it says, small change plus 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 small change equals big change. And nice. I love that concept that if we each, if we just make a little difference here, a little difference again, a little difference again, before you know it, it's a big change.
That's right. And that is from his favorite third grade teacher. Shout out to Mr. Abel, Chris Abel.
You're right. He goes down in the pantheon of favorites.
Yes.
And it's the concept too, Jason. We often talk about that, when we're tackling a big project or when something seems perhaps insurmountable or overwhelming, we often remind ourselves, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
That's right. And there's so many things. I like to take on more than I can chew. And that's one of the reasons why I love Tina so much and that we're so good together is because I describe it sometimes like I'm the kite and she's the kid on the beach holding it down in a windy day. And both are very important. Both mindsets are very important to have in a relationship, and especially in a business relationship and a married relationship. So we complement each other. But what I'm trying to get at is I take on a lot. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to conquer this mountain. I'm going to run. And Tina's like, slow it down a second. Do you have your jacket? I'm like, So it's a really great play off each other's personalities, I think. So yeah, we've got some comments. It's a battle of the producers. So Tina and I both know how to run this thing, but there's some comments there. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Mary. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, my daughter helped design that.
Oh, so I think that Tammy is talking about this cup. Oh, are you serious,
Tammy?
That is so cool. I don't know anything the story behind, so it says, tastes good, does good. So there must be a story. Tammy, you'll have to share it with us. That is really cool.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about, Tina?
Oh, and then commenting on our conversation, Mary says that she's the same way. Love it. Yeah, what should we talk about? The sky is really the limit. You want to talk about how we got here?
how we got here.
I should probably let the audience know that you are not here to sing Danny Boy. So if they're holding out for that, it's not happening.
No. My singing days are almost over. I'm kind of tone deaf now these days with all the loud concerts I went to. I can barely keep in pitch. But yeah, I used to sing back in the days. That's actually how we met, right? I was singing when I met you, or after, or before I met you.
And you sang at our wedding. It was very beautiful. I loved it. So you've got a little throwback collage here. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I made this because every time I think of Tina, I think about our life together. So we've been married for 15 years. We've been dating or together for 20. It'll be 20 in March. And there's just a couple of things. There's a picture of us smooching. There, I think that's in Japan.
I hope nobody's puking out there. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we'll be making people puke for a very long time. So anyway, up right above that picture is me in high school. That crazy kid with the glasses there was doing theater in high school, and then directly to the right of that is Tina doing theater as well in the 90s. Just a little montage of our stuff. Our son, I used to be a chef, used to be a painter. Just wonderful things of things that I love. And
it's certainly been an interesting journey. And, I think that's another philosophy that we embrace, is that it really is about the journey and not so much the destination.
That's right.
We're willing to redefine ourselves. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the exploration. Once upon a time, I was a civil servant and you were a chef, and we've traveled miles from there, but it all influences who we are and how we got here. I would not trade in any of the lives I've lived.
Yeah, me as well. It's for a long time, especially my younger years, I was like, man, if I only had this one thing, or if I could only do this, if I could just get to this thing, then life would be perfect. But that's not true. Good morning, Patty. That's not true at all, because life is happening right now. The future is something that's beyond your control. The past is already done. All we have right here, and this is sort of the Zen Buddhist principle, is all we have right now is this moment, and how much we appreciate this moment in time, good, bad, in between, indifferent, whatever. It really helps to focus in on what we're doing at this time. And that's helped me with my recovery. That's helped me in business. That's helped me in so many different ways with my relationships. Because when we appreciate the journey, it's not work. It's not like we're working. It's like we're just having a great day and staying positive with it. And even during the tough times. And we've had plenty of those, my love.
I love it. Hey, speaking of living a life, Mike Sobish is sending us a good morning this morning. I don't know, Mike. If viewers, if you're not familiar, Mike is one of the guys that, leads out at Maribel Caves, and he is just about to turn 80 if it didn't happen already. Mike, thanks so much for watching. They are doing super cool things out at Maribel Caves. We're really excited. We've got a video that is almost ready to launch. I had taken our son out there, Jason, maybe 10 years ago, and it's just, first of all, it's a beautiful park, but there are actual caves out at the park. And I was familiar with the caves that you could kind of crawl in, which I almost never do because they're filled with spiders. But then there's one, it was called New Hope. And 10 years ago when we went out there, it was about the size of, I don't know if you can get an idea of the room I'm in. It's not very big. It's maybe 250, 300 square feet. So there was a cave that you could stand up and go in, and that was pretty much it. Well, now those guys are working out there so hard. They have it completely excavated where, you walk and walk and walk, and there's like a turnaround, and there's pillars, and there's like a cathedral ceiling. It's super cool and super impressive. So way to go, Mike and team.
Yeah, and Mike has this encyclopedia. Oh, not about a week yet. So
until he's
happy early birthday. But Mike has an encyclopedic knowledge of history. It's really interesting to listen to him talk and tell all the stories about like what used to be there and how the caves are there. It's just an amazing thing, and we're really excited to put out these videos soon. So those are coming.
Yeah, especially the one too about the Maribel Caves Hotel. That one is really interesting. So
it is interesting. And he dispels a lot of the goofy rumors about haunting and stuff like that. That's not what that's about, that video, just so you know. It's about the real history of what went on out there. So
right, including the occupation by gangsters like John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson. So you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, wise guy, eh? All right, yeah.
Jeremy, thanks so much for your comment. And Jason, I think Mary is talking about you putting together that sweet collage.
Oh, I am. Yeah, I'm only sweet because of the person that's on the screen to my left. She is the absolute moving, driving force in my life. So,
just a quick correction. I think I'm on the screen to your right.
Oh,
I guess no, but from a viewer's perspective.
From a viewer's perspective.
Left, but it's
right. It's stage right, Tina. All right, sorry.
Anyway, Tammy also followed up to let us know that the cup, it was a group of students who would sell coffee to other teachers. Oh, that's cool. Well, so then Tammy, I'm just spitballing here, but because it says small change, small change, small change, small change equals big change, by selling the coffee to teachers, did they then do something that made a difference? Like, was it going towards a project or towards helping something or buying something for the school? Let us know more. And hey, Connor's watching this morning. Good morning,
Hey,
Connor.
Morning, kiddo. Our boat nerd, Connor. Connor, talk about encyclopedic knowledge, knows about all the ships. He teaches us about all the ships coming in of the port of Manitowoc here on the coolest coast, and he is just a great guy.
I
Awesome.
agree.
Cool.
And Connor, because of his love of ships, he had a great idea in the midst of the pandemic. So the ships that come into the port, their crews were being quarantined. They weren't allowed to come ashore. So he worked with the Maritime Museum, and they put together an initiative called Mail by the Pail. And so he and the Maritime Museum would collect, like if people wanted to write just a nice note, send candy, treats, a little gift. Then when the ship would come into port, they would hoist a pail up, such old tech, right? They would hoist this pail up to the team up on the ship so that, they felt a little included and a little less lonely during this whole thing. So Connor, thanks for all the great work that you do.
Yeah. Very cool.
Jason, let's talk a little bit about your art history. Look at this cool difference that you've made in our community, like with this postcard mural. And you know what? Wait, before I turn it over to you, Jason, I just have to say, guys, do you see this picture in the very middle? The paint splattered guy, he's painting the word love on a mural. Well, I love this picture because, 20 years ago when I first met Jason, I immediately, knew that I was in love. There was just no question. I was so excited. I went home. I told my parents all about it. It was just the start of Google. Google had just started to come online. Well, anyway, of course, my dad Googles this guy, right? And then he's like, hey, Tina, you have to come and see the results. And I was like, oh no, like, what's it going to be? Like, it could have been anything, right? I thought, okay, is he like, does he have a record? Did he I don't know. I just was like imagining the worst. And the image that my dad showed me that came up first when he Googled Jason's name was this image of Jason painting the word love on a mural in Minneapolis. And so it just seemed so serendipitous. It was like a sign, he's painting the word love. I was, feeling love, and I was like, yep, that's it.
I'm glad that no bad things came up. That's a good thing. No, that was in the mid 90s. I was out living in Minneapolis, and I did that mural on the side of a church, actually. It was a very large mural, about 100 foot long and 45 foot tall. And it still stands there. The wall's kind of crumbling, but it's still there. So this collage that I put together is kind of a collage of painting, right, and artwork. So the monster guy next to the Jay Prigge image on the bottom right, that's a digital painting. The rest are plein air and a mural. So those are kind of the things. Up in the upper left was one of my prouder moments when I won the plein air dockside paint out in Door County, which I'd been working at for, probably 4 or 5 years to try and get to that point of actually winning it. And so I painted that huge painting in an hour and a half and won that competition. So anyway, yeah, this is all stuff that all these paintings and things like that are from the past, right? So shortly after I painted that mural in Minneapolis, I moved back to Wisconsin, and shortly after that, I met the love of my life. And so all these different things, I used to go around and paint at competitions The Jay Prigge image is actually a show I had in Door County at a gallery. So all of those images, when I look at them, they're just history, right? But I stopped painting. So I stopped painting maybe about 3.5, 4 years ago, and because I was dealing with some stuff, so I just took a break from painting and concentrated on my recovery. And I've been very open about my recovery. I wouldn't be here. I really truly believe I wouldn't be alive without Tina and my recovery. So I'm going to start crying if I talk about that too much. But I started painting again just recently, and it has been very fulfilling. So what I'm doing is a couple goals. Very, very good. That's cute, Connor. So what I've been doing is starting to plein air paint again, and I've done about 15 paintings already, and I plan on doing more. But I'm not doing them, to supplement my income anymore. I'm not doing them for a living anymore. And the reason is I couldn't separate the two, the drink from the brush. But now I can. And thanks to my recovery, I'm back painting. So I think there's some there. Here's the newer stuff. So I think I have a much clearer vision now in my plein air work. And all these are little ones. They're 9x12s. And usually I just say, Tina, I'm going to go out and paint. And that's cool. So I just go out and paint around the coolest coast. And a lot of these images are recognizable. The top left is obviously the Mariners Trail. The top right is actually from the Mariners Trail as well. And, these images for me now mean a lot more. I like to paint roads, by the way, and destinations and rivers and things like that, because the joy is in the journey. And so I find my inspiration in those common roads that we have in Manitowoc County, So I don't know. I'm just back on the horse.
Right. The birch trees on the right are just so inspired and inspiring. I love them. I love how you can see the light in the leaves. It's just masterfully done, Jason. Beautiful.
Well, thanks. That's right off of Mariners Trail, actually, near, I think it's, what is that? Trying to think of the turnoff there. I can't remember. I think that's right after right before Woodland Drive.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Isn't there like a rest stop right there?
Yeah, that's by that rest stop. Their path would actually be right below those, where that light is coming on those bushes. So I knew,
Nice.
I didn't ever want to paint again, and I didn't need it. But here again, the journey, right? So you come across different signposts in your life, and you take those roads that you need to take. And if I don't take this road, it's going to take me a long time to get to this other road, or this road could be a dead end. And I was kind of headed on a dead end road, and I made a turn. And what I did was dramatic, and I stopped painting. That was a big part of my life. And now I'm picking it back up again. And I'm actually thinking about having a virtual art opening very soon, so everybody can see these paintings and look at them and enjoy them. So yeah, just capturing the beauty.
When you describe your life, it reminds me of one of my favorite Robert Frost quotes, where he says, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference."
That reminds me of a Jay-Z quote. Came to the fork in the road and went straight. So it's not necessarily which, it's like, oh, well, everybody's going this way or everybody's going this way. You got to sometimes make your own trail. And Henry David Thoreau said, don't go where everyone else is, go where no one else has ever been and leave a path. And that's been a driving force as well in my life. So.
Right. And Thoreau also said, I'd rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion.
We could sit here and just volley quotes back and forth, you and I. You have two thespians on the show right now. I'll start quoting Shakespeare in a minute here. But yeah, so that's the journey. And Tina and I, through all of this stuff, she's been right there with me, and we started a business a few years back, and that business is going very well, and we're very happy and proud of it. And what we do to give back to our community, because that's so important, is Coolest Coast, right? And that's how Coolest Coast started, as kind of paying it forward to Oh, there goes the logo. See, now I see that you guys, I see the problem when you and Chris there.
Here, high five me.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. Anyway, so that's why Coolest Coast started. And Coolest Coast, it was an idea that Tina and I had because of all the negative attention that Manitowoc County was getting from any source, Manitowoc company leaving to blah, 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 blah. And what we thought was, you know what, we are marketers. That's what our company is, Vagabond Creative. We market things for other people. We tell other people's stories. We do videos. We do graphic design. We do all this stuff. And so we decided to come up with something that was truly unique for our area to promote it. What did Patty say? Your hard work and commitment in each other's shows, and also your playfulness and humor with each other is so refreshing. If you don't have humor in a relationship, you're done. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're done. When we were getting ready for this live stream, we were goofing around and horsing around. We like to keep our lives full of joy. And when one of us gets down and one of us gets depressed, like just the other day, I was like, I'm not feeling this and blah, 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 and COVID this. And, I'm a pretty positive person. And I was like that. Tina's like, buck up. Come on, this is a good, you've got so many
existential crisis. They're real, right? And fortunately, we're on we're at different parts of the sine curve where that happens, right? Like if you're up, I'm down, and one of us talks the other one off the ledge. And I think that's a great strength in our partnership. It's like two parents in a family, if one gets sick, hopefully the other one doesn't get sick at the same time, right? So that they can carry the family through and is there to provide the care. Hey, right. Jason, this one is for you.
Oh, what's that? A little stuck right now, but hoping I can get back on track. My aunt was artistic relation, and she passed away. I'm so sorry, Mary. She was at my art opening. How did you get back on track? Well, you got to find joy in every situation. And when somebody passes, I've lost a lot of people in my life. Recently, some to addiction, family members, my own father. And what's really difficult is, and especially now, right, because we're all like cooped up, what's really difficult is sometimes just finding the motivation to start something. And that once you get started on something, just anything that you want to do, then it comes alive, right? So one of my favorite Chuck Close quotes was that amateurs wait for inspiration. The rest of us just go to work. And sometimes just the act of doing something. Now, I know you're talking a lot about painting here, Mary, but if you just scribble on a sheet of paper and find shapes and start shading them out, or don't worry about being representational, and even just studying, right? So go to YouTube videos, find something that maybe gets you a little bit inspired, do something completely different, you know what I mean? And just throw it, a little bit of difference in there. So go ahead, Tina.
I would say too, it kind of ties back to how we started the show, talking about the great happiness that comes from making others happy, because all of your life informs every other part of your life. And so your art isn't just segregated from what else you do. And so if you can, just find ways to make others around you happy, the happiness that it brings back to you, I think will then inform where you are and also inform your art and help you get unstuck. That's what I find personally a lot of times.
Oh, totally. 100%. And Mary, I have another suggestion for you. Your aunt, and she was such a super inspiration and everything else. What is she like? Maybe do something in remembrance of her as a painting. I have no idea what she liked, but maybe her favorite flower was roses. So do a painting of roses, or maybe she really liked 57 Chevys. I don't know, but you know what I mean? That really helps me out a lot. One of the things that helped me cope with my dad passing was doing a portrait of him. And I'm going to start to cry, because I love my dad so much. And that portrait, I don't have many pictures of him. Although lately I can just look in the mirror and see him because we look alike. But that portrait really helped me get through that and really deal with those emotional feelings. And so dealing with his loss, which was is still a big gaping hole in my soul. To this day, dealing with that painting helped me kind of massage that pain and that hurt in my
Because you
heart.
really get
So
to focus on what you love then, right? You get to focus on the detail and that concentration. Right. That is a beautiful thing to do.
yeah.
Hey, Teresa is watching and she says, love you too. Thank you for being amazing humans. Right back at you, Teresa.
Says an amazing human. So yeah.
And that's a great example of, bringing happiness to others and then reaping that happiness for yourself. And then Pam says, you guys are awesome. Thanks, Pam.
Thanks so much. What a lot of people don't see when Tina and I do these type of things, or with Coolest Coast videos or whatever, they don't see all the hard work and all the stuff and the fussing that goes on in the background. And, Tina and I have always come to the place where no matter what happens, at the end of the day, we just need to let it go. And it's harder for me, I think, because I'm stubborn as a bull sometimes, but it's hard for me to admit that I'm wrong or that I have a decision that might not be working, right? So I'll get all stubborn, and especially with work or relationship or whatever, and we've got a bunch of balls in the air all the time. But if we have our relationship, if we honor the love that's between us, boy, you're getting me close to tears, this whole thing. I guess I'm doing it to myself. If we honor the love that's between us, things will be okay. And that's the secret to our business and whatever. So that's Diana, hi.
So I think Diana is referring to what you were talking about, Jason, with the art and being the healing process. And so Mary, Diana is the curator over at the Raw West Art Museum. Mm-hmm. And so you have like a true art confirmation that art is important in the healing process. Diana, thank you so much for that comment.
Yeah.
Jason, this is so much fun. I mean, honestly, I have fun with you no matter what we're doing or when we're doing it. I feel like, even the hard things, when we do it together, it's enjoyable. But thank you so much for being here this morning.
Are you kidding me? Thank you so much just for being, because you're amazing. We're going to make more people puke. And I just want to remind everybody, a friendly reminder, because I have abused my body. Okay, I'm just going to be honest right now, for a long time with alcohol and drugs and everything else. So I just want to remind everybody, a little Halloween reminder here. This is Jason. Jason always wears his mask. Jason has survived everything. Be more like Jason. So it's kind of a bad picture of me, but yeah, you get the point. It looks like, hold on a second. Looks like more, oh yeah, okay. We've got, you know what, Mary, you make my day. You made my day today. I just want to add that. Your honesty and your openness may have helped somebody who is watching today. So thank you so much.
I just want to say that everyone that's watching today and everyone that's participated today, you really made my day. I really enjoy and look forward to Tuesday mornings that we can have this connection. It just fills me up. I love it. And so thank you to every one of you for taking time on your Tuesday morning to be here.
And I'm a poor substitute. So next week, you'll actually have Kristin back, the wonderful Kristin, and I will be behind the scenes once again.
I would say there is a falsity to that statement, because you are not a poor substitute. This is awesome. We're having a great conversation. But yes, next week, it will be great to have Kristin back. And you guys, just so you're prepared, we do have a special guest next week. It is Stacy Grawl, who's currently serving as assistant to the mayor of Manitowoc. So we're going to be talking to her on November 3rd, which is Election Day. So I'm just really looking forward to that. It'll be
bringing that up. Bringing that up, Tina, is a great thing. I also want to encourage everyone to vote. Get out there and exercise your right. I don't give a crap what party you're into. Get out there and make your voice heard. It is really the fundamental freedom that we have, free election, and get out there and do it. The Wisconsin Now, you must even have your absentee ballot in on November 3rd. Otherwise, it won't be counted. I just want to bring that up. Right, wrong, in between, or whatever it is, your personal opinion should not stop you from voting. Put yourself in a hazmat suit and get out there. Get your vote to the proper authorities and get it counted. This is our fundamental thing. I'm sorry I get into it, but if you love America, vote. That's all my thing. I love
And
America.
democracy
So
is in our
I voted.
hands. And if we don't value this treasure that we have, it goes away, and we don't want that to go away. And
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you
go
brought up a
vote.
really important point. If you have an absentee ballot in your hand right now, fill it out, but instead of putting it in the mail, go ahead and drop it off at your town hall or your city hall, wherever it's appropriate.
Yeah. And we'll all get through this together, right? We have election fatigue. We have COVID fatigue. We have 2020 fatigue sometimes, but stay positive out there, people. Hold the ones that you love close to you, and most importantly, see what you can do for others.
Love it. Jason, it has been so much fun talking to you this morning. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next week on Coffee with Kristin and